Namaste, dear learners. I welcome you all to our series of video lessons. Today, we are going to discuss uh, a essay called "The Man in Black," which is prescribed for BA 5th semester Basic English for Rani Channamma University, Belagavi. As you know, the present essay is written by one of the best known writers of English literature, Oliver Goldsmith. Oliver Goldsmith was born on November 10th, 1728 and died in 1774. He was an Anglo-Irish essayist, poet, novelist, dramatist, and eccentric. He was famously known for his works of literature and he was also known for works as the series of essays called The Citizen of the World or Letters from a Chinese Philosopher, the poem The Deserted Village, the novel The Vicar of Wakefield, and the play She Stoops to Conquer. Goldsmith was the son of an Anglo-Irish clergyman, the Reverend Charles Goldsmith. He went on to a tour of Europe and he learned his higher education, BA degree in Dublin Trinity College in the year 1749. He had many misadventures before he left Ireland in the autumn of 1752 to study in the medical school at Edinburgh. His father was dead, but several of his relations had undertaken to support him in his pursuit of a medical degree. Later on, in London, he came to be known as Dr. Goldsmith, doctor being the courtesy title for one who held the Bachelor of Medicine, but he took no degree while at Edinburgh, nor so far as anyone knows during the 2-year period when, despite his meager funds, which were eventually exhausted, he somehow managed to make his way through Europe. The first period of his life ended with his arrival in London, bed-draggled and penniless early in 1756. Goldsmith spent his life in obscurity and he rose from total obscurity was a matter of only a few years. He worked as an apothecary's assistant, school teacher, physician, and as a hack writer, reviewing, translating, and compiling. Much of his work was for Ralph Griffith's Monthly Review. It remains amazing that this young Irish vagabond, unknown, uncouth, unlearned, and unreliable, was yet able within a few years to climb from obscurity to mix with aristocrats and the intellectual elite of London. Such a rise was possible because Goldsmith had one quality uh, soon noticed by booksellers and the public that his fellow literary hacks did not possess the gift of a graceful, lively, and readable style. His rise began with the inquiry into the present state of polite learning in Europe in the year 1759. It is a minor work of Goldsmith. Soon after that, he emerged as an essayist in the Bee and other periodicals and above all in his Chinese letters. These essays were first published in the journal The Public Ledger and were collected as The Citizen of the World in 1762. The same year brought his life of Richard Nash of Bath. Already Goldsmith was acquiring those distinguished and often helpful friends whom he alternatively annoyed and amused, shocked and charmed. He made friends with Samuel Johnson, Sir Joshua Reynolds, Thomas Percy, David Garrick, Edmund Burke, and James Boswell. The obscure Drudge of 1759 became in 1764 one of the nine-founder members of the famous club, a select body including Reynolds, Johnson, and Burke, which met weekly for supper and talk. Goldsmith could now afford to live more comfortably, but his extravagance continually ran him into debt, and he was forced to undertake more hack work. He thus produced histories of England and of ancient Rome and Greece, biographies, verse anthologies, translations, and works of popular science. These were mainly compilations of works by other authors, which Goldsmith then distilled and enlivened by his own gift for fine writing. Some of these makeshift compilations went on being reprinted well into the 19th century. However, by 1762, Goldsmith had established himself as an essayist with his Citizen of the World. By 1764, he had won a reputation as a poet with The Traveller, the first work to which he put his name. It embodied both his name, memories of tramping through Europe, and his political ideas. In 1770, he confirmed that reputation with the more famous Deserted Village, which contains charming vignettes of rural life, while denouncing the evictions of the country poor at the hands of wealthy landowners. In 1776, uh, Goldsmith revealed himself as a novelist with The Vicar of Wakefield, a portrait of a village life whose idealization of the countryside, sentimental moralizing, and melodramatic incidents are underlain by a sharp but good natured irony. In 1768, Goldsmith turned to the theatre with The Good Natured Man, which was followed in 1773 by the much more effective She Stoops to Conquer, which was immediately successful. This play has outlived almost all other English language comedies from the early 18th to the late 19th century by virtue of its broadly farcical horseplay and vivid humorous characterization. During his last decade, Goldsmith's conversational encounters with Johnson and others, his foolishness and his wit were preserved in Boswell's Life of Samuel Johnson. Goldsmith eventually became deeply embroiled in mounting debts despite his considerable earnings as an author, though, and after a short illness in the spring of 1774, he died. Now we will see introductory note about the essay The Man in Black. The Man in Black is one of the essays of Goldsmith which he contributed to a daily newspaper, the Public Ledger. It was published later in his The Citizen of the World, and the present essay is a mockery of the contemporary society. Through the essay, Goldsmith attacks the social and political situation of his time. In this essay, a Chinese visitor keenly observed inconsistencies of the Man in Black. Though he is best known for his comic play She Stoops to Conquer and the novel The Vicar of Wakefield, Oliver Goldsmith was also one of the most prominent essayists of the 18th century. The character of the Man in Black appears in Goldsmith's most popular essay collection, The Citizen of the World. Though Goldsmith said that the man in black was modeled on his father, an Anglican curate, more than one critic has observed that the character bears a striking resemblance to the author. In fact, Goldsmith himself seems to have had difficulty reconciling his philosophic opposition to charity with his own tenderness towards the poor, the conservative with the man of feeling as foolishly luxurious as Goldsmith may have considered behavior. He apparently found it natural and almost unavoidable for a man of sentiment. After reading The Character of the Man in Black, we find it worthwhile to compare the essay with Goldsmith's A City Night Piece and with George Orwell's Why Are Beggars Despised? To conclude, Oliver Goldsmith touched on every type of writing. His essays are known for creation of wonderful characters called the Man in Black. Oliver Goldsmith has influenced many great writers of his time as well the forthcoming generations of writers. Washington Irving once states on Oliver Goldsmith that Goldsmith was between 5 feet 4 inch and 5 feet 6 inch in height, not heavily built but quite muscular, and with rather plain features. In character, he had a lively sense of fun, was totally guileless, and never happier than when in the light-hearted company of children. The money that he sporadically earned was often frittered away or happily given away to the next good cause that presented itself, so that any financial security tended to be fleeting and short-lived. Goldsmith's talents were unreservedly recognized by Samuel Johnson, whose patronage, somewhat resented by Boswell, aided his eventual recognition in the literary world and the world of drama. Thank you very much. In our next video session, we will discuss the essay in detail.